So, I'm I've been posting against what they're doing with the economy and how this problem is kind of getting way out of hand in my opinion. People have been disagreeing with me, but I don't think that they understand what my argument is or what my point is. Look, be safe out there. I'm not advocating that we completely ignore any risks of this thing and just go about life as usual. What I am saying is we can't make the solution worse than the problem. So let's look at some of the numbers and statistics concerning COVID 19 virus to see if we are making it worse or better. Okay? In the US, we have 427,460 cases total. Out of that, we have 14,830 deaths. Okay, that means that 3.4% that catch it die. That also means that out of our 324 million population, that 0.13% have caught it. 0.1 have caught this thing. Okay, that means that you have a 96.6% survival rate, meaning 96% of the time you're not going to die from this. Okay, out of our 324 million population. Now, if the entire population caught it, given those numbers, right, the 3.4% that catch it die, if the entire population gets it, we're talking about 11 million dead. Okay, because that's 3.4% of our 324 million population. That is a lot. That is a concern. So, like I said, be safe out there, and there's precautions and things you could do. Constantly washing your hands, disposing of gloves, sanitizing your mask, changing your clothes, and washing them as soon as you get home. Those things, all fine, right? But shutting down 40% of the economy, 40% of the jobs, 40% of our population are not working right now. And yeah, because of the state mandates in most areas, a landlord can't evict you during this time. But here's what they can do: back pay. So you haven't been working for 3-4 months. You still owe that 3-4 months of rent, right? So when this thing is lifted, you got to pay that back within 3 months, on top of your current normal living, expenses. That means that most likely when this thing lifts, within 3 months' time, we're going to put 40% of our population homeless or largely in debt. Because most Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency, much less have to pay all their expenses for the last 3 months plus their current living expenses within a 3-month time frame. Most Americans can't do that. They don't have the savings. They don't make enough. Whatever reason you want to say, most Americans cannot do that. So, if everyone obeyed the stay order, and that means that 129 million people cannot pay their bills and wind up homeless or largely in debt within 3 months of this thing being over. So, are we making the problem better or worse by making it, a misdemeanor to be in public right now? Not to mention, that's an infringement on your civil rights. Pursuit of happiness, liberty, the First Amendment gives you the right of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom to assemble. You can't assemble right now, and you don't have much freedom of speech, because if you go out in public and start preaching against this thing, they can technically arrest you. That, to me, is a huge concern, both politically and socially. Health causes aside. Okay, 7 million people died in the Great Depression. At that time, between 1929 and 1933, the population was 15 million. That means 40%, 46% died in the Great Depression, or result from, suicide, deaths, dying from hypothermia, getting sick, not having shelter, the starvation. All those factors played into that $7 million population death. Okay? So, in regards to nowadays, if the entire population got infected with this thing, 11 million people will die. 149 million people, if allowed to stay on the stay order, will die in the next half a decade. 5 years. Great Depression. Right? Estimated length of the next Great Depression is 5 years. Because we're going to be putting 552,830 homeless as of right now. We're going to add 59 million to that within 1 year. Statistically. So are we making the solution better or worse? I think the solution, we're currently, this stay order, no one can work, yada, yada, is going to cause more deaths than the virus if the entire population got infected. Think about that. But be safe out there.